So I figured we'd come back again since I lost all of my Plex library and my Ersatz library. So I'm not sure what happened, but power went out and it came back up and there was no media files mapped anymore. So it happens. So I've got everything else back up and running, and since I was doing that and I noticed somebody asked about putting in commercials and such. So we'll see if we can't make that happen. I already have a bunch of channels in tow. So what I think we'll do is we'll do some Adult Swim bumpers, and then we'll do an alternate schedule. I think that covers like the other stuff that you would do. So the first thing we have to do is we have to go into media sources and go to local, and we have to add new libraries. And I just so happen to have up all of my actual libraries, so they're underneath a media / whatever, because I have the entire media folder on my Unraid mapped as media, so I don't have to try to remember it for the lack of anything better to say. And if I ever forget, you can always, I already have music videos on mapped, so let's go in here, steal that, back up, add new local library, new library, AS bumpers pre, and we gotta take the top part off there. So we'll hammer on back. Excuse me. So the 10s are the pre's. Let me see here. Yep, the pre is a 10. So these are supposed to be 10 seconds, but maybe they're not. So we're just gonna put 10. Add path, save changes, give it a hot second while it, there we go, and then we're going to do another one, AS bumpers post, which are technically the 15-second ones, and I have to change this to other videos. I totally messed up and forgot that. So that's the first lesson in Justin fucking up here. Add path, or else it will save nothing. Go back, find AS bumpers pre. Go ahead and delete, because we can't change that. Once it's been mapped to a fucking folder for movies or TV shows, it's not changeable. Same thing as if it was anything else. Once you decide what the actual genre of media is going to be, you can't change it. You can only edit the path. So if you screwed up the path, you can edit that, but if you did anything else, you just got to delete it. So we are AS bumpers pre. We're going with 10. And we are doing other videos, add path, save changes. And then we're going to do Saturday morning cartoon blocks for my Saturday morning channel. So that's also going to be in other videos. I'm going to do Saturday morning blocks. And let's take a look and see where we're at there. Saturday morning DVDs. Let's just copy that. Add. Let's go ahead and steal this part. Yeah, I see a guy. And then we'll do the other one, which was just Saturday blocks. Yep. So that way we have all the blocks possible added. And there's something, I'm still adding blocks to the Saturday morning cartoon blocks as I find people actually have them for sale or trade, because I want as much variety as possible. So now we have other videos, Saturday pre and post. We'll go down here to libraries. You can see the Saturday morning ones are still going, so let's go to other videos. Now, this is where I keep a list. So, these are how I separate them. Originally, it was an issue. Now it's not so much. So for some reason, it doesn't look like all of them got changed over, though, unfortunately. What the hell is this nonsense? Yeah, not all of them got changed over. But most of them did. Good deal. LV. So long. Tune in to us. I'm not sure what they are, so I may delete those from the library. Because I have no idea. Actually, let's just go take a quick look. I know exactly what I just went and put in. So, nothing in there. I hate the scroll button in here. Windows is super terrible when it comes to the scroll button, and you just sling it. It's like, no, I can't do that. Nothing in here represents 003 whatever. Yeah, nothing represents that. So, let's back out to local media sources and see what else is listed in other videos. No. Other videos, music videos. There should be nothing else listed here. That's interesting. I had some holdovers that don't exist. So we're going to go back into libraries. And she's all syncing now. And then other videos as it continues to load, because it's going to continue loading them up. So this is going to take a few. So we'll jump to the next spot, which would be to go ahead and yeah, I don't know. Sometimes it takes a while. I just loaded up a bunch of files, so let's see how many files I loaded up in general. 406, 117 plus 83 and 70. So it's quite a bit. Some of them are extremely short, but any of the blocks are like 5 to 6 gigs each, as they are basically VHS rips. So yeah, we'll go for it. Well, since we already got Saturday morning blocks done, let's mess with that. Let's take a look at our text file again. Saturday morning blocks. So that's B1, B2. That's actually it's just B2. So let's go to other videos and look for all the lovely B2s. 3B, A5. Alright, so we're going to go to the next run. And I start seeing B2s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So what I'm going to do is make a new collection. That collection is literally going to be Saturday morning blocks. Cartoon blocks. I guess it helps if OR is in there. And then add to collection. And then we get to add more. So we're going to go to the next page. And this is how I add in things for other videos. So boom, 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 boom. You should have, I want to say, 100 on each page. So I just go ahead and select all of them I can without being supremely unhappy about it. As you can hear all the clicks, because there's no select all for some damn reason. That would be extremely helpful, but that does not exist currently, and it hasn't existed for at least a year that I'm aware. That's how long I've been using it, and this is about my 5th iteration of using it, because I've had problems and problems and problems. I've lost Ersatz probably realistically 6 times, because I didn't lose it every time I lost the media collection. Oops, I went a little too far there. Let's start unselecting some stuff. Where did B2 end? Oh, it ended up there. That's crazy. I know I got more than that in there. I definitely got more than that in there. That's incorrect as hell. So 18, huh? That's absolutely incorrect. Well, let's go take a look at our media source. Edit. Alright, let's take a look at our folders. Oops. Saturday morning blocks. There's 117 in there minus all the extra shit, so let's just go ahead and make it easy. Let's sort it out by type. It seems like that's all it put in there. Oh, let's try this again. Yeah, there is a stupid amount here. Like, that's not the correct number at all. And you can clearly see these are A5 and the other one is B2. So let's go back. I'm screwed up. I missed. I made A5, so we got a bunch of A5s to select. This is the fun of building your own media empire. It is not fun. The amount of time you actually put into curating everything isn't that bad. It could be worse. But, yeah. That's not the correct damn number either. That's only 28. Where the hell are all my damn files? There we go. Let's take those B2s that are just out there winging it as well. I'm just going to select everything on this page and see where we're at, because it was 18 on the other page. It also takes a while for this to populate, so that could be the issue. And I mean slow, 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 slow is how it go. I don't know if that would be the case on Windows, because I am got my hands tied a little bit, so like I can't do fixed schedules here. As where in Windows I can do fixed schedules. That's not an option. It also takes a while for it to actually add it to collection. And then let's go into the next. Maybe, maybe not. There we go. Still the same amount of B2, but a bunch of B9. So it's starting to filter in B9C1, so you got your pre and post bumpers. So we'll go ahead and skip that for now. And we're going to go down to scheduling. To your schedules. And I already have a Saturday morning cartoon channel. So boomerang. Oh, I thought I had a Saturday morning cartoon channel. Alright, I guess we're making it from the from Git. That's awesome. Let's see what's complaining real quick. I'm moving a bunch of files because I am backing up all my stuff. So, let's see. I really don't think that we can do that right now, because it was scanning everything. Yeah. It's done with movies, but it's scanning shows. And that's going to take a minute. So, we'll be back. So, all of my libraries have stopped finally. I don't know what the hell happened. So currently, because I'm not willing to have to resync everything and redo all the channels again, because I'm running off of Jellyfin, emby, or Plex, which I am still connected to those, but I'm not using them for my libraries. So everything is local. So basically, if you go to the local library, it's like underneath of shows. I have a whole handful of folders there. Same thing with movies. I have a whole bunch of folders there. And then, since I learned how to do music videos, that's also in the mix. Those are much simpler than I thought they were. That being said, we'll do our pre and post Adult Swim bumpers. So, oh, you'll have to excuse me. For whatever reason, when I try to enter it in that window, it just goes to shit on me. I have no idea. It's whatever. So, Ersatz, where are you at? I have a folder specifically for this shit, which makes it easier for me. So our pre is B8 and post is B7. That's funny. I put them in two all before R. That's why. So we're looking for B7 to make our B7 to make the post. All right. So I think B7 starts on that next page, if I'm not mistaken. Oh hell. This is mad different. Alright, so we're just going to redo our Saturday one. Screw it. Now that they seem to all be here. The downside is that you really need to know your file names if you're going to add more. What I use is I use a... Let's see, what do I use actually? I use Magic File Renamer 7. And that's what I actually use to go through and do all these. Yeah, so we don't want those. We want that. We don't 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 want that. We want all these. I have no idea what those are because those shouldn't be in the list. I had nothing in this before I added these earlier. So, weird. So it happens that's the last thing we're on. Let's go to the next one. You'll have to excuse me. I had pizza and it is taking forever for the burps to come up. So, I apologize. Pepsi didn't seem to want to work it out very well, and now it's all wanting to come up hours later. I don't get to have pizza very often, because me and my wife mainly, we eat in, we cook. We don't actually go out often, if ever. So, it's kind of like a luxury to have takeout. So, it's a little bit of a piggy. I ain't gonna bullshit. You don't get something very often, you're like, oh my god, and you just run at it like a fool. It happens. And the thing about it is that you can't, once you've selected something, you can't go to the next page without unselecting it or add it to collection. So, it won't add extra, it'll just overwrite whatever is already in our collection. Since I've had to do this so many times, I learned this the hard way. Almost like to be 9. So we're good there. And then, going back to our list, B9 is shorts. So we'll start with B9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 3. Scroll on down. Let's see where it stops, and it keeps going. I think there's like 80 files in there, if I'm not mistaken. I hope that's not the case, because I don't want to select that many damn files. But I only have to do it one time, technically. C1. C1 is where it breaks, so... B9 was pre, was it not? B9 short. Alright, add to. Yes, bumpers. Short. Actually, I'm going to do pre. Add to collection. And then let's start with our C1 nonsense, and these will be our post. Collection. AS bumpers post. Everything on this page. Hopefully my dehumidifier is not too loud, considering I have to keep it remotely cool in here. I'm like less than a block from the river, so I gotta keep. I usually have 2 dehumidifiers going, but for the sake of doing recording of a video, I only have 1 going. So our next thing to do is come down to scheduling. So let's go to schedules. Alright. So what we are going to do is we are going to step in past that. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a filler. Add a filler preset. And then we're going to do collection is our pre. AS bumpers pre. And then we're going to do pre-roll. I've tried tail, I've tried fallback, I've had disastrous results. I've not tried mid-roll, which would be like in the middle of whatever you're watching, it should jump in and do like whatever you plan. So like if you were on a synchronized for time, then you would choose your amount of time. As I'm doing padding, I'm choosing the amount of bumpers I'm going to run per pad, or amount of files are going to be ran. So we're going to do pre-roll. We're not going to do duration, because the problem with that is that this never works for me. So, because I would like to just keep it at like 5 minutes, or like break that 10 minutes in between. Technically it's 9, so most shows are 21 minutes that are a half hour, so you have 9 minutes to fill. So it's 3, 3, and 3 before, and 3 in the middle, and 3 after, which turns into 6 between episodes, that's just too much for my own personal home shit. No, I don't think so. So we're gonna go with pad. Actually, my bad, count. And our number we're gonna count is, we're going to do 2 before and 1 post. We are going to allow watermarks, as I have a bunch of those already set in my system. Add filler preset. And then we'll do post as soon as it comes back. AS bumpers post, and then post roll. Filler duration, no, we don't want that. We want count, and we want count to be 1, because these are longer. I actually set these to be longer. And then collection post, and add that, and make sure that I got pre correct. Yes, I did. Let's back out of that. So then what we'll do is we'll go down to schedules, and then we'll find Adult Swim. And then we're going to edit scheduled items. And here's where we have all the fun. So in here is where we would put that. So for our pre, we choose Adult Swim or pre, Adult Swim post. We need to choose nothing else because I already have this set up. Usually you can go through and you can put in your different stuff for your watermarks, but I have them set to the channel and not the schedule. So the channel is dictated on the watermark, and also for the watermark I have it to stay within the media. So like if it gets something that's 1080, it goes in a different place as versus if it's something that's 480. It helps me. So I'll go ahead and save. And that is how you add your bumpers. Now, to alternate schedule is a little different. So we have to create a channel. This is going to suck because once it goes into play, I don't have any options. Once it goes into play, I have less of a good chance to change out my channel logo. So let's find something for Saturday morning cartoons. No, we don't want that. We don't want that. We don't want that. It's not terrible. I like that one, but I don't know about that. That's better. Let's have a go at it, right? 80 Saturday morning cartoons. Saturday mornings. I like that one right there. That's not bad. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that one. So that one there. Let's scroll back here. Open image. And it's a JPEG. Good deal. So, save image. Bet. So we're going to cheat a little bit. Because I don't really like that much. So, let's see. Where is my lovely paint? And let's open it. I think I'm off screen for this, aren't I? I believe I am. Alright, let's get it on screen now, I guess. So, I'm just going to get rid of all the bullshit in the background real fast, because once it goes on, it's on. And that's decent, but I want to get rid of this little white bar on the side, because I'm sure... There we go. So then we're just going to save it. And then, bring my shit back up. Let's make a channel. So I want to say that'd be channel 14. Yep, add channel. So 1.14. New channel. Ersatz, actually no. Let's go back and see what we have with the other ones, because I think I changed channels on here. Gleefix is what I was doing, yep. Alright, so we want 14. Excuse me. Jesus. I like to make sure I do these so I don't have any issues. Upload logo, and then watermark. We're gonna go with Gleeflix main for now. We don't want any fallback filter. Add channel. Then we're gonna go through TV shows. What in the hell? Oh, I hate when it's doing it like this. Alright, so Saturday morning cartoons would have been the Addams Family, Don Coyote, Elf Tales. Technically Aladdin. It would depend what channel you were on, but yeah, we'll go with that. Alright, so we have a hell of a lot of these to scroll through, so bear with me. Alvin and the Chipmunks, most definitely. Animaniacs, not so much. That was past when I was actually watching Saturday mornings. Batman animated series, most definitely. I have an interesting folder there with the original commercials, but we're not going to put that on. That's going to its own channel eventually. And none of the rest of these would have been on Saturday morning. Add, yep. Next, Beetlejuice, most definitely. Berenstain Bears, most definitely. None of the rest of this shit. And Bonkers, no. The Boys, definitely not. Rocky and Bullwinkle was more so of like early morning stuff. Care Bears was. Captain Caveman surprisingly was. Bump in the Night was. It's just not showing me everything that's here. I don't know why it's doing it this way. Whatever. So Chip and Dale, most definitely. Count Duckula was funny because that was actually on Nickelodeon and USA, I think. So we're going to skip that for now, even though I absolutely love that show. I still watch it go to sleep all the time. Danger Mouse, most definitely. No. Surprisingly, Dog City was, but I was at the tail end, because it's about 93 is when I stopped watching cartoons, and I was outside hanging out playing with my friends more often. So I was like closer to the end of that. And Fantastic Max, most definitely. Surprisingly enough, Fat Albert, most definitely. Flintstone Kids, faux show. Surprisingly not Flintstones. Freakazoid was in the mix a little bit. Garfield and Friends was 100. You know, I'm going to put Gargoyles on there just because Gargoyles is dope. I did watch that, but that was more so on the weekend, on the weekdays between, I think they started cartoons at 2 p.m. until 5. It was like a 3-hour block. I'm not 100% on that, so do not quote me. And Goof Troop was definitely in that mix because they played it on the weekends and on during the week. Nothing here. Heathcliff. That was when I was really young. That was like preteens. Not even preteens because I was watching that when I was like 5. I don't remember that one, most definitely. Gem was in the mix. Yeah, that's what we got from this one. I wanted to put Always Sunny in there, but that would be crazy. Kiss You Firm, most definitely. No, back up, dude. Kiss You Firm, most definitely. Little Mermaid was in the mix. Looney Tunes was in the mix. Not the new Looney Tunes. Mask was most definitely in the mix. And surprisingly, Land of the Lost was in the mix, but that's not a cartoon, so we're not going to add it. None of these. Mr. T, you know, he was definitely in Muppet Babies 100. Muppet Babies, actually, I loved. I stayed with my grandma when I was a kid, and my mom would work. She was like a manager at Chi-Chi's, and we lived in Flint-ish, Flint-ish, Michigan. And I would always stay at my grandma's house in the morning before I was like 5. So like I would go over there and hang out with her, and then like I would watch Muppet Babies and stuff like that on the weekends every time. So I remember that quite frequently. She would take me to McDonald's every morning basically to get a egg biscuit. No meat. But so I'd get an egg biscuit, or we'd go to Hardee's and we'd get biscuits and gravy depending. That was once in a while. So I'd get an egg biscuit, and then at the time is when they had the toys for the McDonald's Happy Meals for Muppet Babies cartoon. They had I think Gonzo had a skateboard. I think Fozzie had a high chair. Kermit had like a tricycle, I think. And Miss Piggy had like a little Power Wheel set up. So I had all of them at one point. I have nothing now. Too many moves. They're all gone. Thought that would be a fun little story to throw in the mix. Winnie the Pooh. Pac-Man, most definitely. We're going to skip Pac-Man. We'll go with Charlie Brown. Why not? Charlie Brown was like a hit and miss. Sometimes it was on, sometimes it wasn't. Technically the Raccoons was, but it was more a Canadian thing that I was able to see on the satellite, less so on regular TV. Real Ghostbusters for sure. Yeah, I hate that I'm going to select that, but yeah. Reboot was more so at the end of my childhood, the beginning of my formative years as a teenager, so it's kind of at the end of the being a kid watching TV in the morning. And I am missing a ton of things on here for some reason. It's slightly pissing me off. I'm missing a whole bunch of things in D. At least the Snorks is on here. Spider-Man, most definitely. Strawberry Shortcake was definite. I was born in 1980, so all the cartoons I watched at the time are kind of like a throwback for most people at this point. It would be considered super old. Everything I watched is at least 30 years old. Some in my 40s. So there is that. Tiny Toons was 90. What do we got here? Thundercats, the complete series. That is definitely in the mix. So I am missing some stuff here. I didn't select Teen Wolf, but that was in the mix. The 80s was a viable source of marketing. So, like, there was cartoons for shit that should have never had cartoons. That's the easiest way I can put it. I mean, there's a ton of things that should have never had cartoons, but they had cartoons. Things it should not be were. X-Men, the animated series, most definitely. So, that's... I'm going to have to go through because I'm missing things. I'm going to have to figure out what the hell's going on here. But that's a rudimentary schedule for Saturday mornings. So, we can go down here to schedules. And we can do a Saturday morning schedule. That's good enough. Keep multi-part episodes together. Shuffle scheduled. This is useful for multi-part crossover episodes. Yeah, sure, why not? There wasn't any in this, but... Flexible. That's something new I haven't seen before. Add schedule item. So our first schedule item, mind you, is going to be just Saturday morning. Now, our Saturday morning cartoons, I have no commercials currently. I'll be putting some in later, but for right now, this is what we're doing. And this is where we're going to have some fun. We're going to delete that one I just put in. We're going to save, and then we're going to go back over here to edit scheduled items. Add scheduled item. That's right, I can't do it in one, so let's skip that and get out of here. So add schedule. You know what? I'm wrong. We are good with just that. What happens is that I need to make a playout. And in the playout I can do an alternate schedule. So now we have that, and we have alternate schedules. So our Saturday morning cartoons will run until Saturday and Sunday. On Saturday and Sunday, we're going to go ahead and we're going to use not that. Let's get rid of that. Alright. Add alternate. I don't want that. We want our Saturday morning cartoons. No, we want the blocks. Oh, I have to make it a schedule. I was incorrect. So, let's make that a schedule too. Sat morning blocks. Shuffle schedule items. We're not going to play them flexible. I don't need to do any multi-part because these are DVD rips of VHS tapes. So, not necessary. Save changes. And then we go down here to playouts, and then we'll have a little bit of a fun with it. So, add schedule. Now we can go to sat blocks. I think I had a blank one in here, but I don't see one right now, so I'm gonna have to make one. So let's just go ahead and delete the last one. Save schedule. So schedule, add. This is something I found previously. It will not do what you ask it to do if you don't do this. You have to have a schedule with jack shit in it. Save changes. So then we go to playout, then we go back in here and we put that in the mix in order to keep this doing what it's doing. See, like it says any, it won't keep the last one for some reason. So what you have to do is you have to add in that blank. And then, you know, save all, it doesn't matter. So then you go back up here to this guy. Oh, shit. Then you go back into this one here, and then you can take these off. So now you have your Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday here, any day of the month, any month, Sunday, Saturday, any days of the week, any days of any month, any of the months, and then I have a blank one with nothing. And this is how you're able to keep it. So when I go back in after saving, it'll actually show correct. Looky there, and it came up the way it's supposed to come up. So that is how you would actually do that. And at this point in time, let's see if we can emby is the fastest one to be booted up. Gleefully extended down. Let's see if it shows up underneath of the guide yet, or if I've got to frickin' scan for it. And I gotta probably scan for it. Yeah, I gotta scan for it. Fucker. Alright. Well, we're gonna have to get rid of that. Live TV. Refresh. We'll see if we can catch the commercials. We can also resell the playouts, but we're not going to do that. So as of right now, I have 14 channels, and I actually need to put in a afternoon cartoon channel that I'm missing. But in general, this is how I run my home network. It works. I like it. We're going to pretend that's good. Come on, sucker. Looky there, Mr. T. All that shit's already kicked in. So, let's see what we can watch here. Mind you, all of this stuff, it's going off of in the preview guide by your file names. So, like, it really goes by the name of the show. And you see I have my own channel logo.
You'll like today's show, folks. No Binky, no Normal, no Buddy Bears, just a...
So, let's see if we can slip into Adult Swim. Snakes and Barrels 2. Oh no. No, this is the PJs. Lioness.
Oh yeah, I tried telling you how to do your job. They're good.
I'm just glad we saved our marriage and everyone within a 30-mile radius. Well, it's been a long day. Good night, Miriam.
Good night, Goody.
So, let's see if we can, I think this is the end of the episode. So then this would kick in, hopefully, our new alternate where we've added our pre and our post bumpers. So there should be one post bumper, and then after that there should be 2 pre's before you go into the next episode. So let's see if she does what she's supposed to do. And I hope she does. Because I just, from ground up, redid this last week. I just haven't finished it because I did have 26 channels. I'm at 14 now. But as you can see, it's time consuming. And it was a lot easier to select stuff with a connected library. Alright, yeah, we got our bumpers. So I should have this one, and then 2 more. I did my own logo with AI, so I could just like run my own episodes. Like I said, it changes with the resolution of whatever the file is. So I kept it with the media. And then we should go back into another episode. To avoid any of the copyright.
They were the kings of an era.
We go back in the fucking
where they were after we didn't know where they were, but where are they?
So in general, I also have an HD home run where I have actual live TV. So like, besides having a massive amount of things on demand for movies and shows, I run my own live channels of shows I like the most and shows my wife likes the most, as well as running my own over-the-air HD. So, and it works out. I can record things if I want, and I can add those to the library as well. I actually save them with original commercials. Because I didn't care about that until I was in my 40s for some reason. Like my 30s, I was like, oh, it's just holding me up. And I was like, it kind of takes the feel away from it, or what originally it was. So, there's that. So, as you can see, that's how you would do it. So, you have to create a schedule for each thing that you want to put into the schedule versus what you want to do for days. A good answer there is that for Cartoon Network, I haven't done it yet, but I make a new schedule for Fridays that is all cartoon blocks, which I have to put back in. Like, as you can see, I had a ton of stuff that I was using as alternate schedules off of the local media and not through the actual library from Plex or Jellyfin or emby. So all this stuff I had loaded in other videos, and I had designations in front of it so I could easily select all of them and just throw them into a list like we did earlier. So it is helpful to kind of keep your stuff organized the best you can. I didn't put that right in front of the actual folders because I don't think I would have liked that. That would kind of piss me off. I was looking at every one of these and I didn't know what they were, and it had like a designation in front of me. Like, nah, that's not what that's for. As you can see, I had a primetime toon channel. I had a sci-fi channel. I had a Simpsons with original commercials channel. I got my MTV channel going. I had a Dim Henson channel that I don't have going currently. I had a Christmas channel with all kinds of Christmas commercials. I do have a Beavis and Butthead channel going, which I haven't added in the Maranathon blocks from VHS tapes, and I haven't added in the movies yet. And I'm slowly getting through the rest of it. It's time consuming because I have like a huge folder of commercials as well, stuff I've cut out of. I digitized beta and VHS tapes, and I cut out the commercials of those and I post them, and I also convert them so I can use them. So I've got about 2,000 commercials I haven't put in play yet, and it's time consuming because you got to rename them first. So you got to put a designation in front of them, then you got to throw them into a folder. And because I have this as it is now, I'm just going to keep going. So the next one will be D2, D3, D4, and so on. That way I can just go to the end and start from there. Backtrack, really. And then there you have it. And that is how you rock out your own ErsatzTV schedule. Something I should probably touch on that I wasn't 100% sure on. I watched a video and it kind of explained it for me. And I'd have to look and find that video and add a link to it. But for videos, it's more time consuming than the rest of this. So first you've got to acquire music videos. And we know that you're probably going to acquire those through non-legal means, right? But regardless of how you get your music videos, you have to do them as so. So if you just want the artist and the song, you can name the video artist and song artist dash whatever the song is, but it has to be in the artist folder. So you have to have a folder for every artist. So in the folder for your music videos, like let's say it's music videos, and then in the music video folder, then it would be by artist. So like to give you a better understanding of that. So this is my music video folder, and inside of that it goes by artist. I haven't went in yet and wanted to kill myself, but I'm going to go in and change this. So I'm going to go in and put in albums, album folders, and then I'm going to put the videos in the correct album folders, so that when it comes up, because I use the MTV credits, I now list that in my description below. Sorry, I can't think right now. It's like 2:30 in the morning. But I'll list that in the description of the video. I got that from somebody else. I found that after going through multiple forums. So like what I was looking for is I was looking for like the MTV style at start and end of a video where it said the artist, the song, the album, the director, all that kind of shit, right? Which you can do. I'm not going that far. The farthest I'm going to go is album, basically artist, album, song. Kind of mirror MTV a little bit, right? But as it stands, that's how you have to do it. So the folder you have all your music videos in has to have the folder of every artist, and inside that is where you put your music videos. And it's up to you whether or not you want to go any deeper than that and do them by album. So that's how you have to do the music videos, which is a pain in the ass. And if you're adding anything to your actual library, you have to remember two things. Whether or not you're on Windows or whether or not you're on a Linux of some sort. So I'm using Unraid. So in Unraid, you have to map out your shit to begin with. So all of my actual stuff is listed underneath of mount user ersatz. Actually, excuse me, that's for the host. So, excuse me. So mount user, and then my media folder is media. So like when I add something here, I went ahead and I put the container to be media. So when I add something in ersatz, you can clearly see that it has to be media / and it's / if you're in Linux or Unraid, / media / the actual folder I'm looking for, and then / wherever the media I'm looking for is at. And then I have to add it and then save changes. If you were doing this in Windows, it would be a \. So let's see here. Let's say we're gonna do Beavis and Butthead. So it would look exactly like that. It would be /media /ErsatzTV /Beavis and Butthead with the dashes, and you have to make sure if it's capitalized that it is capitalized, because it will not do it if you just go ahead and put it all in lowercase. I don't know why, but it doesn't have it. It has to be exact. So that is how you actually add your paths. So if you've mapped them, that's how you're gonna have to do it if you map them. And if you're in Windows, you kind of just can go ahead and copy the path right out of your Explorer and paste it in. It's not an issue. And you can add multiple paths. So like for movies, I have it all separated into decades. So I have 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, all the way up to 2010s, and then I have it split also into comedies, sci-fi, and something else. But I felt that I was going to go too far if I added sci-fi, so I left it alone. But in general, I've got all those different, so you can just add path, put another path in, add it, put another path in, add it, and when you're done, save changes. This one has multiple folders, and you can tell when you go. So like, let's look at movies. Movies has 4,508 files, so like there is a ton of nonsense in there, ranging from horror to drama to kids movies. I got a lot of Disney because I actually liked watching Disney when I was a kid, like until it got real woke and in the early 2000s. One of the things that I noticed is that a lot of Disney movies were cut on original release. From theatrical to home release, they were missing things. Like the theatrical release of Muppets Christmas Carol was missing my favorite musical number in that, which was When the Love Is Gone. It was probably the saddest one in there, but I liked that one the most. I thought they did a really good job of it. And it was missing from the re-release that wasn't theatrical to DVD, and about, I want to say when they re-released it at the end of the 2000 era, before 2010, because when you got it in 2000, they had a release in like 2002, I think, and that had everything out the way it was, and the deleted scene that they had in that one was the one that they put into the current one and pulled that one out and put it as a deleted. So like there's always something weird. So I like to do a lot of VHS rips for that reason alone. VHS rips and DVD rips, because there's a lot of things have changed, especially with the advent of Blu-ray, and then like streaming. You can't trust Disney service. They give you whatever they feel like, and they might have changed whatever they felt like. So it's the main reason I host. My own self-hosting is to have all of this stuff at my hands the way I remember it. Before it was altered. Like I have the original Star Wars trilogy. Before they altered it, I think I got those. Those were all Laserdisc rips. I had to hunt high and low for those. I think you can get the upscales of those that have been done amazingly, which is the Project 7K, Project I think that's Project 70K, Project 83K, Project 81K, like Empire, the Jedi, and New Hope are all in that range. But they're out there for you to download, because that is work that was done by the community. So all of those items that have been done are, I'm sure there's some legality to it, but those are community sourced. So, and that's all I got for you.